This episode of the Smoke Pit brought to you by the Nut Ruck by Arbor Arms.
Tactical fanny pack for your nuts and your butts.
Check them out at arborarms.com. Tell them the Smoke Pit sent you.
Also check out Combat Combover at combatcombover.com.
Find pomades and beard oils for your hair and your face.
And use that promo code SmokePit.
Save yourself some money. Welcome to the Smoke Pit.
Hey.
What up, no?
Welcome back, motherfuckers.
Oh, God. Such energy.
So, Mike, you're very hungover, correct?
I am very hungover. That's correct.
And what are you doing about that?
So I'm going to continue drinking because that's what's best. I'm a doctor. And also, I want to make it clear that I'm not drinking good beer because Dan, being the savage he is, came over and bought me Busch Ice. It's not even Busch Light. It's Busch Ice.
Yep.
Why is it ice?
I told AJ, I was like, every time I come over, I make an effort to try to bring Mike the shittiest beer that the 7-Eleven currently has in stock.
It's so bad.
And this is partially to shame him for his alcoholism, but also to be a supportive friend. Like, I'm going to support you because I don't want the collective hangover to kill you.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be enthusiastic about it.
It tastes like the hugs my father never gave me. It's really bad.
So, like, Mike is notoriously difficult to work with.
Oh, yeah, I'm a real prima donna, yeah.
And so whenever I come over to record, I bring him food of some sort. I bring him beer and Pedialyte or Gatorade or something.
And he gives me a nice massage, so.
And then we rub his tummy about three times exactly. Otherwise, he bites the shit out of us.
Yeah, but only counterclockwise, though. He ain't for that clockwise shit.
You don't want to get his fur ruffled.
Fuck no. This is really bad.
No, yeah, so...
and yet, despite a full bar, you keep drinking it.
It's the principle of the matter. Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah, so, and see, as he is also one to do, he also complains about things. I was nice enough to bring him beer that he's drinking, and he's complaining. And you know what else I was nice enough to do?
What were you nice enough to do?
To fuck up and accidentally send, like, $50 worth of Chick-fil-A to his house.
Yeah, but again, that wasn't something you did. You texted me and I'm such an asshole. And I was like, why? Why are you an asshole? I mean, I know why, but why are you an asshole? And then you were like, I accidentally sent Chick-fil-A to your house. I'm such an asshole. I'm like, okay, humble brag. I will eat your food. It's fine.
That's par for the course for him, I feel like.
No, and then as soon as he gets it, he immediately starts complaining about what kind of cheese was on the sandwich.
Bro, American cheese on Chick-fil-A sandwich is just bizarre to me.
Yo, that was AJ's sandwich. I had a grilled one.
AJ, you need to, I don't know.
Find
God.
Look, I pre-selected, okay? I don't get the Lord's chicken that often because usually Sundays are the days when I feel sadness enough to eat fast food, and that's the day that they're closed. So I do like a red-blooded American, and I go get something from Taco Bell. When I say something, I mean a bag and a half, which is 6 days worth of calories.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Right, to make up for the 18 power bowls I've eaten over the week.
I've earned this treat.
Yeah, so I have like 14 different addresses saved in my DoorDash from being various places.
There's your first mistake.
And so the last place I had ordered food was I was down here recording, and I had ordered breakfast, and I forgot to change the address through the Chick-fil-A app, and it just sent the food down here and just immediately starts complaining.
I'm just saying, like, everybody knows pepper jack cheese is the superior cheese. Are we in any arguments here?
Absolutely not. Pepper Jack is the superior cheese.
Yes, Dan, yes.
Yeah, but still.
Like, no buts. No buts. Pepper Jack is the superior cheese, and it should be put on all things that require cheese. That is all.
I don't know why, but I like the Colby, like the white and yellow, orange.
The Colby Jack?
Yeah, the Colby
Where
Jack.
they mix it?
Yeah, it's like a Dalmatian slice of cheese.
See, I use Colby Jack when I'm making food for you because I know you don't like there's a level of spice you enjoy.
Yeah.
And I try to maintain that balance because I like my shit to cause my body pain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If I'm not sweating and just crying after my meal, then it's not a good meal. I want to feel physical pain.
I feel like that's a lot more than just your food, Mike.
We don't have enough time to dive into that.
No, Mike, we really do.
That's literally what we're here for.
That's literally what we're here for.
Oh, good.
So, tell us about your pain, Mikey.
About my pain?
Yes.
Well, you started off by saying your dad didn't hug you, so let's go from there.
He did hug me. I just felt like he didn't really mean it. You know what I mean? It was kind of like those, okay,
on
buddy.
today of all days, Father's Day.
Father's Day. Happy
on Father's Day. You're coming after your dad.
I love my dad. He's the best.
He's not coming after him like in a hateful way. He's coming after him like, Daddy, love me more.
These are facts, yeah. I wish he'd hug me more.
I get that. I have a lot of abandonment issues from my dad.
No, I get
Just
that.
Being stern.
So we got a DM from a fan who wants to know how many illegitimate or otherwise children do you think we all have out there that we are unaware of?
Are we like joking about it, or are we actually going to make a guess?
I mean, if you had to make an educated guess, what would you say?
Just from my world travels and my
yes. Because why Mike is multiplying by the square root of 12.
I'm honestly, if I'm being 100% honest, probably like 3.
At least.
Yeah, probably 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you had to say regionally, where are they located?
Not gonna do
AJ's
that.
sweating bullets right now.
I'm not sweating anything. I don't have any illegitimate ones. I pay for all the ones that I have, both with time, money, and love.
Aww.
Because I have to stop myself from doing the helicopter parent thing where you're up their butts all the time. Because
I'm glad you added parent to the end of that, because I was going to say this is a whole other episode.
I'm saying like our generation's parents were like completely unabsolved, like they absolved themselves from being in our lives for the most part. Like I remember my dad would come home from work and I'd get like 10 minutes when he walked into the garage after his hour-long drive, and I'd be like, Dad, and I'd hug him, and like he would say a bunch of shit about work I didn't understand.
Yeah, you would get 2 head pats as you hand him a beer.
Exactly. It was a Coors Light. I remember that because I used to judge him for it.
That's fair. For a cheap beer, I'm good with Coors Light.
Right.
Not fucking Busch Ice.
and he was a blue collar guy.
Maybe
right?
don't be an alcoholic piece of shit that's hungover every time.
Tell me how to live my life.
Yeah, so my dad's blue collar, and he was drinking his Coors Light, and I was like, all right, I get my 10 minutes, and then he'd go do his thing, and I'd fuck off into the woods. Like that's what Louisiana upbringing's like.
What did you do in the woods?
We actually talked about this earlier. Apparently, we both have ran face first into banana spider nests.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
no, I you told me the story, but I'm a little drunk now, so I forget exactly how it ended up. But like, seriously, we're talking about this on the drive down here, and I ran face first into not the whole spider web, but the web and the spider.
Yep.
Like it was attached to my face, and it was like, well, hello there. I was like, get off me, like lightsabering my own eyeball out, trying to get it away.
Yeah, it's like the same feeling that the local Hooters have when AJ smacks him in the face with a load.
Yeah.
Just plat, wet and uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Smells like off. I mean, that's
I
how I
told
felt
you
to
I
me.
cleaned up my diet.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
No.
Do you
For
think
everyone
you're-
listening, he is quite proud of how well he manscapes and grooms and talcums and powders and all that.
I don't know if it's so much pride as like I just don't want to be gross.
This is artisanal balm, Daniel. You said to me more than once.
No, you know what? I don't want to hear it because I walked into the office yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And I was cleaning up the kitchen and the living room, and there's just all this superfluous crap that you gain in your house over time.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get rid of it all, or like put it in boxes and put it in the basement. And so I walked in the office, and he's sitting there doing whatever he's doing. He's working, right? I could see him tickety typing on the old Pogue box. And I walk in, I was like, hey, I have this goat milk soap, and I have this like bougie like men's
Whose point are you trying to prove here?
it was given to me.
I'm sorry, goat milk.
Listen, it was given to me. It was still in this package. It's been around for a while. So, and I know that Dan is more bougie about that than I am, right? He's trying to take care of himself. So what I did was I was like, hey man, do you want either of these things? And he was like, no, man, I've already got way too much soap as it is.
Yeah, back when we got sponsored by Semper Fi soap, like I still have some of their soap up. And yeah, I do miss a good bar of Irish Spring, though, coming out of the field and School of Infantry, and you're all getting each other's butt cracks and checking for ticks. You know?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was one of those things that, like, this quarantine has really made me conscious of how important the good old days were, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of my hosts are paying
No, I'm
attention.
sorry.
Our studio, have their mic within their face.
Our studio audience is being very entertaining, and it's distracting. Yeah, exactly.
We'll hear from them in a bit.
Oh, good.
But the good old days, just the fact that like that memory of just like everybody like, you know, dirty or tired or sleepy, you know, just whatever bullshit you dealt with the day, but everybody kind of got that like punch drunk humor and everybody's just like smiling, you know. Like just like those kind of like those moments, like you really miss them in times like this, you know?
Yeah, like the bus ride back from the range or the field.
Yeah,
That's like some
exactly.
of the funniest jokes you'll ever hear in your life. Yeah.
Yeah, then you try to like repeat them like to family members or, you know, whatever, who are you dating.
Right.
They're absolutely not funny. Like you tell the same joke to the same guy, and he was like, fuck is wrong with you? And you're like, you cracked up the other day, and you're like, I don't remember that at all.
Exactly, yeah.
No, and I don't know, AJ will be able to sympathize to this. There comes a certain time where you realize, like, people you've dated in the past, like, they want to spend too much time on the phone. And it's like, you have to have a level of comfortability. Like, Sam and I match really well on, like, our appetite for how much time we want to be on the phone.
Sure.
But then, like, you get to the point where you just have to, like, repeat your friend's stories just to fill dead space.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And, like, you end up telling them so much about them that when they do meet your friends, they, like, already know so much more about them, and now they're at a disadvantage.
That's true. Well, it's the same thing of being on a podcast. Like, if you meet somebody who's listened to the show for a long time, and then you meet them, they're always like, do something crazy, tell a crazy story. It's like, I don't just spit that out, like, just in conversation.
Mike, cream pie that girl.
Exactly, yeah. I'm not a fucking performing monkey.
All right, give me a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously, it's like that one episode of the Office where Will Ferrell was making Andy the Office funny guy.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, hey, funny guy, do something funny, make me laugh.
Drink this soap, yeah.
Make me laugh. And Andy's like, this is my life now. And it's especially true when I wake up at like 4 a.m. because my phone's blowing up because somebody's trying to Instagram call me. Because they want to, debate some like minuscule, like abstract fucking aspect of something that I posted like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like, what the fuck, man? Like,
why would you have your notifications on to get those calls? That's crazy to me.
Because I have a lot of veteran friends who are incredibly suicidal.
Oh,
like,
so do I.
How selfish do you have to be to not have your notifications on?
No,
like,
it's just
that person doesn't care about anything.
No, I care, but when I'm asleep, I don't care.
No, I'm with Mike on that. Like, I have an automatic do not disturb feature on my phone.
Yeah.
Because I used to be the kind of guy, like, I'd pick up the phone at 2 a.m, and 90% of the time it was either a drunk idiot friend. I've gotten called once to come bail somebody out, and they were so hammered that they didn't realize that someone was already there bailing them out when they called me. Like, I was up, I was dressed, I was walking to my truck, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, you know what, man? Don't worry about it. Like, Ramirez is here. And I was like, then why the fuck did you wake me up, bro?
He missed you.
No, I think that kind of stems from like being an NCO where you'll get like a call at 4 a.m. Like, hey, man, just want to let you know, hey, this is Sergeant so-and-so, the duty NCO. 2 of your Lance Corporals just flipped their vehicle leaving a party. Like, they need you down here. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, really?
Yeah.
Really, guys?
Yeah, so
Both of you?
I'm so sorry. I thought since AJ was here, I wouldn't have to.
Since AJ was here, you wouldn't have to pay as much attention?
100%, yes.
I've specifically been chastised dozens of times for the fact that out of the three of us, I talk the most.
You do. And
we do.
We got a review that I ramble, right? It was a 5-star review about how I ramble. And I was like, does that mean they want me to do it more?
No,
or that they're giving me a 5-star in spite of? No, it's a 5-star review. That means they want more of it.
No,
but everything else they said was about how handsome and charming Mike and I
are. Right, exactly. The real root of the show. Me and Dan's looks on a podcast.
Well, go ahead there, Mike. Go ahead and root us down with your bush
sorry.
eyes.
I'm so sorry.
Knock yourself out.
I'm not, Dan, I'm paying attention. What's up?
So I know being an RP, you've probably got those times where you've had the calls come in at odd hours where it's like,
of course.
Hey, this thing that has nothing to do with you exploded, but it's your fault.
Oh, yeah, all the time. Yeah, people, I mean, it is part of my job, unfortunately, kind of just like the mental health of everybody I serve with is in my umbrella of responsibility, which is annoying because I am just so inherently lazy, so I don't like getting those calls. But when I do, obviously I answer them. But no, if I'm asleep, notifications are off.
Look, if you're gonna be suicidal, do it during business hours.
Yeah, if the sun's down, let's just sleep.
No, because for me, that's when I get the wildest fucking messages is at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when the world's quiet and those crazy fucking questions starts going through your head. Like, I was going to go to bed at a reasonable time last night, right? Mm-hmm. It was 1:45, and I just finished jacking off, and I was about to close my eyes and go to sleep, and then just a blazing question came through my head. Who created God? And I was like, nope. Stood up, fucking walked around the whole house. I was like, nope. I can't be alone with my thoughts right now.
Crazy.
Like,
yeah,
there are only 2 things you just said that were true. It was the question that popped into your head and the jerking off part. You were in no way going to be like, yeah, I'm going to go to bed at 1:45.
Yeah, it most certainly was.
I've heard you multiple times been like, yeah, I'm going to go to bed in like 30 minutes. And then I hear you clacking around in the kitchen making coffee at 6 a.m.
Well, see, last night was different because I knew we had to come down here and perform. So as the consummate professional, I was like, all right, well, I should probably at least get 4 hours of sleep, to be safe on the road for my passenger and other drivers. So I tried to go to bed at 1:45, and then all of a sudden, the moment I was alone with my thoughts, I was like, nope, can't do it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to have to jack off at least 4 more times, or I'm going to have to watch something incredibly boring.
You know something that actually used to disturb me as a kid? Because I grew up Catholic, obviously, as you all know, and they'd always talk about, okay, if you're a good person, you'll go to heaven when you die, and you'll spend eternity with the Lord, yada, 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 right? As a kid in Catholic school, I would have panic attacks because I would think about how long forever is. And I would literally lay in bed and like have cold sweats and think, okay, if I die and I go to heaven, then I live forever. And then I got caught in this loop of like, well, how long is forever? There's no levels. Like, it's just forever and ever. And I would literally like black out. That's how I'd fall asleep, just like panicking about the length of foreverness.
Existential dread.
Yeah, it was terrible. I did that a lot as a kid.
That's a fair thought, though. Like, you think about, like, there's been several times where they have science fiction or fantasy shows where they'll talk about how, like, a particular character is immortal. And after after a millennia, they're just like, I've done literally everything. I'm bored out of my mind.
Yeah.
Fucking let me die. Right? Can you imagine if you were dead, right? And you're wherever in some afterlife, and it's been like 6.5 billion years, and you're like, I've literally done everything that there is to do in the entire of the cosmos.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it just has to do with like your state of being. Because I don't think the ocean like knows that it's been around for however billions of years. It just exists, you know?
Yeah.
Like I also think that whenever you see those science fiction things of like this character who's been immortal or around forever, it's usually an asshole. It's like a vampire or like some selfish scientist. It's like, it's not like they've spent the last 1,000 years curing diseases and helping people, you know, like fulfilling things that make you feel good. It's like, no, they've just been, you know, doing drugs and banging whores and like killing people.
That's a fulfilling life, I feel.
I mean, it gets old after a while, though. I mean, as all three of us have done all three. Like,
right, yeah.
It gets old.
It does get old.
It gets old, man. Like, the only thing that I feel is super fulfilling is trying to help others achieve something that they may have not been able to by themselves, or maybe just point them in the right direction. And through that, you discover yourself. And, you know, you kind of atone for all the things that you've done bad in your life. But I've never seen one of those books or stories where somebody's like a legit good guy. And he's been around 1,000 years. And he's like, okay, I'm ready to die. Like, no, they've all been assholes.
Exactly, yeah. They've done everything.
Yeah.
So you think being a dickhead is like one of those precepts? You have to, like, you can't get immortality without being a prick first?
Yeah, because, like, I don't know if you fucking dealt with the drivers here around Hampton Roads. I'm pretty sure some of those fucking assholes are immortal fucking beings sent here just to plague my fucking life.
Well, I think that's more like one of those things where drunk people usually survive car accidents more because they're so oblivious in their drunken state that their bodies like don't tense up so they don't get as injured.
Bro, that's such a fucking metaphor for people. Like, people who are oblivious to the damage they cause to other people are the worst kind because they usually don't get injured by it. And then, again, they're oblivious to what they've done.
Yeah, like most of Hampton Roads. Also, everybody that works on 64. They're just like, I'll just out here putting this spike in the road and be like, when are you going to finish? It's been a decade.
I've heard that before. Also, I love the fact that your go-to voice to make fun of people is my go-to voice. I just go, I'm a fucking idiot. I love that's the universal voice for people that annoy you.
No, for real, it's so simple to make fun of somebody. Like, you don't even have to do anything good. All you have to do is say, well, my name is, insert that person's name in a funny voice. Just like, watch this, like, my name's Daniel. Like, it's so easy to make fun of people.
It is funny because that's how I met you.
So between the terrible drivers, the mutants that seem to feel the necessity to fucking stockpile toilet paper.
Yeah.
The same mutants that stockpile toilet paper, the same ones that bitch about their constitutional rights being violated because someone asked them to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the people that are just fucking like coughing in public and just like, I just realized, like, I had this thought the other day. I was like, people come from other countries to America to go to Disney or, you know, the Corn Palace. Yeah. You know, just staples of American culture.
Goddamn right.
And Mardi Gras, you know, throw AJ in there too.
He's texting. He's busy.
You know what? I'll tell you, Mardi Gras has its share of mutants. Right?
That's true, yeah.
But it's a 50-50 split between the people that live there that are mutants and the people that come from out of town that are mutants.
But
like, the only real difference is where they decide to pee.
So, I was just about, I'm not even kidding, just about to make that joke. The only thing that unites them is everybody smells like piss on Bourbon Street.
No, it's the street.
Yeah.
Like, it's a French street from, like, the freaking back in the day, right? It's like cobblestones and shit. Yeah. Like it's been pissed in so many times by tourists.
It's ingrained.
And by NOPD cavalry officers' horses.
Yeah.
That at this point, like, they'd have to shut the whole place down like a pandemic.
Yeah.
And like pressure wash it with just like all the lavender they could find.
No, because I watched a documentary on this. Apparently, they did a study, and it says that locals are less likely to pee on the street than tourists. Tourists will get drunk and pee on the street and stuff like that. The locals pee on each other.
That's just good economic policy.
I like it.
I mean, one, why waste your urine when everybody can have it?
Like
right?
a lobster, how they
there's a
pee
reason-
out of their
They pee out
eyeballs.
their eyes.
There's a reason OnlyFans accounts make money, right? Like we're in a generation where I can find any kind of depravity I want
Can you?
on a website for free.
Do you?
Right? I can. I'm not saying I do. I'm saying I can.
Have you?
But
Yes.
now we have OnlyFans where you're paying a lot of money to see only that one specific person naked, but they're still making piles of money.
Right.
Well, it's really not that much money, though.
Okay, so let's say...
Okay, before you talk to me like I don't know what's going on here, I'll tell you I do know what's going on. The average cost of OnlyFans are $4.99. The average content creator makes around $4,000 a month. The top end creators make about $60,000 a month, and the top 0.1% of creators on there make about $100,000 a month.
If you're making $4,000 a month from putting feet pics on OnlyFans,
Well, it's
you're
not
doing
just
pretty
feet
well
pics.
for yourself. I'm saying, like, if you're an
That's
average...
just what he looks for.
you said average... I don't need to look for that. I just call you.
That's fair.
So-
My feet are always out.
If the average OnlyFans account, right, you said the average creator makes $4,000 a month.
Yes, that's
$4,000 a month of whatever they're doing in their private time on top of their normal job. So if they have a normal job where they make a pretty decent living and they can afford all their stuff, that's $4,000 extra they're making just for showing off bits of themselves on an account.
Well, it's not just that. It's the fact that they do custom videos that they sell for additional prices. They do one-on-one. See, like this is what I'm talking about. If you've never subscribed, you wouldn't know, but you're speaking with authority on the matter, even though you don't know.
Actually, I have subscribed to things. So
Tell me more.
Who do you-
Tell me
Yeah.
more. Tell me more. Was she really, really big?
well, I would like to say yes, but I keep trying to get our account activated, and Mike's being difficult.
Yeah, I will say,
I
Mike,
sent you the documentation.
This is why you get butt
5
ice.
minutes ago.
The
Bush ice, not butt ice.
It's not butt ice. This is bush ice.
There was
bush
butt
ice.
ice there, but I was like, he ain't that fancy.
While I'm drinking this, I can feel my kidneys shutting down. This is really bad.
I will tell you that I was all in favor of us not showing you the beer and just walking in and be like, "Yo, Mike, I heard you like large Bush," and when you were like, "What?" and I embarrassed anybody who was in here, including Lucy.
Yeah.
But like,
Oh, poor Luke.
I mean, this crap beer, and you'd be like, "That's not better."
Yeah, and you're not funny. Leave my place.
Fun fact, they actually take water from Lake Bandini to make bush ice.
It's so bad.
So for all non-Marines and sailors, that's the water treatment plant that is on 29 Palms, the desert base. So they that would be crazy if that's where they got the water from.
It tastes like it. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah, so with the OnlyFans, like in addition to just posting the videos, a lot of the content comes from creating individual things and then sending it to people, kind of like the one-on-one experience. Like if you pay $20, you can have a 5-minute, 10-minute long, face chat or texting session with this, porn star who's got 1 million followers, but you would never be able to reach them on their Instagram or their Twitter because it's too bogged down by, people who are just there to be there.
Right.
It's like I won't throw her business out there too much, but there's a friend of mine, she got out of the Marine Corps, and within her first month on OnlyFans, she made over $50,000.
God, what was she doing?
Like just posting content, interacting with fans, like doing it up big style,
Damn, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and like we talked about that one gal who rose all the money for the Australian wildfires.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, she was making a killing on there.
Yeah, she was.
And this is to my point, right? back to the original thing we were talking about like 10 minutes ago.
Right.
The point is like, I don't really remember.
Well, 10 minutes ago we were talking about Mike's trauma, but he just weaseled out of that like he always does.
I'm never going to talk about it.
We'll get him one day.
Yeah, that's
Bro,
right. Yeah.
you want to talk about some fucking trauma?
What do you got?
Did you see that fucking video with the boot at Parade Rest and his girlfriend was doing the TikTok dance in front of him?
So, what's funny? He's not a boot. He's a gunnery sergeant.
What?
For the record.
What?
Yes. And
Wait, what's
of
the
course
age-
I've seen the video.
What's the age disparity? Because if she's like 15, 20 years younger than him, I 100% know why he did it. He was like, I'd rather look like a boot and have an 18
They look to be the same age, and she has gone on, I guess you can do TikTok lives now? I didn't know that. I don't know much
Oh,
about
yeah,
that, but-
absolutely.
So she went on live and saying just like, I did it because I'm a proud spouse. Like, I fucking love him. I love his career. We've only cheated on each other like 17 times or whatever. Like, they're very happy, it seems.
Yeah.
How many times did she yell at a gate guard for not calling her by her husband's rank?
I don't know. All I know is that video needs to die. I see it everywhere. It's killing me.
So somebody messaged me with a screenshot of a conversation they had served with this individual, and they're like, hey man, just so you know, like kind of like, hey, look, this is a real person. And I didn't even post anything about the guy. Like everybody else was giving him the business for me.
Yeah.
But I was getting tagged in memes and put in memes. Like they had Piper Perry, like the little blonde girl, and then the,
I
the
saw
five big
I saw
guys.
they put you on that. I was like, he hasn't said anything.
I was like, I haven't even said anything.
I love that you know her name.
I mean, I have spoken to her.
Oh.
Here's Dan flexing again.
Exactly.
No, you just think so little of me.
Dan, I think so much of you.
You know a person's name who's relevant in pop culture? Wow. Good job, buddy.
I think so little of you. I built you an office.
Oh.
And
Yeah, no. You guys should kiss.
anyways, if I
That's
get
the
the
reason-
I was saying.
That's
This
the
is
reason
why you have a sailor on the show, to get you guys to kiss.
No, that's why we put you between us, because we spent all day doing that, and if we kept making out, we'd never get anything done.
It's a good point.
That's why I had him shave.
And so they sent me this message, and it's like, hey, look, like there's a real person behind this. Like I get all the jokes, whatever. And so I sent him a screenshot. I was like, brother, man, like I haven't posted really anything about him except for like reposting the thing that I was like that had my name put into it.
Yeah.
But it was a screenshot, and it was the official U.S. Navy Instagram was like, blink twice if you're in danger.
Yeah.
Or like, don't blink if you're in danger, something like that. And I sent
Yeah.
him that screenshot. I was like, brother, man, he's got bigger problems than me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I will say, I'm proud of the Navy Instagram. It can be pretty savage sometimes, and it makes me really happy.
Oh, for sure.
It should be. You're trying to recruit for the modern era, right?
That's true.
You can't have that milquetoast crap where you're like, join the Navy. We got really cool jobs. Be like, join the Navy.
Because you're
Pussy.
slam dunking on sassy fast food brands. Did you
Hell
watch
yeah.
Space Force?
Of course.
That part where where he was trying to explain to Steve Carell like social media. That felt like me trying to explain to AJ. Like when things first become culturally relevant. I'm like, hey, here's the thing. He's like, what? How does that make any sense? I'm like, look, it's just what the kids are doing. Like, you don't have to understand. It's art.
You know what?
We're listening to a song on the way down here, and he's like, what's the purpose of a Nextel beep in that song? I was like, I don't know, man. Seasoning? Like,
Like that's the thing though. Like there was no reference to like back in the day or like old times or like
it
back.
was Lucid Dreams, by the way.
It's a great song, yeah.
Yeah, like I can understand like if there's a relevant reason, like it's like some kind of like subliminal throwback to like, you know, back in the day in like the 90s or something when people
There you
had
go.
those.
Perfectly
If that's what
explained
it was, but he didn't say anything about that.
No, he still sees the shadows in his room or whatever. But
Yeah.
I think noises
See-
like that, it makes you have the discussion like we're having right now. It makes
Yeah,
you
it's a
think
little
of those things.
nostalgic.
See, and that's fine. Dan craps on me because he's like, AJ's an old man who doesn't like stuff. And I was like,
Wow,
I didn't-
that's true.
We literally got a review where the listener thought you were a World War II veteran.
Yeah, we've gotten reviews where people have asked that thought that I was a black guy on the show.
That's true. That is
right?
true.
Which, by the way, I'd like to say to everybody who thought I was a black guy, thank you. Right? Like seriously, thank you, because
That's a compliment. Yes.
I'm always concerned about the way my voice sounds
Yeah.
on when we finish the edit.
Apparently,
Yeah.
it sounds very black.
Right? If I could just get like step it up about 3 notches from there and get Idris Elba quality, then I'm sold. I'm done.
Oh, absolutely.
But it wasn't that I was like, what's the I didn't say, are these fucking young kids and their stupid beep noises. I was like,
I feel while I wasn't there, I feel like that's exactly what you said.
that
not-
wasn't the spirit of the
I
conversation.
no, because a lot of times there are things I don't get because it's like a genre of music I don't listen to,
Sure.
or like an area of pop culture that I'm not familiar with. Like I didn't look at TikTok for a long time because there's a lot of dumb shit on TikTok.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But I went to Dan and I was like, all right, explain to me this TikTok. Like, how do I get into this? Because I've seen some TikToks.
How do
that are
I
good.
turn on my VCR?
Hey, I'm the tech guy here, okay? So yes, I keep turning with the technology, right? But he's social media is his thing, so I said,
true.
Dan,
Yeah.
explain to me how I get TikTok.
What's Mike's thing?
Yeah, what is my thing?
I mean, I know what I would say. I
Cream
want
bars,
to hear
obviously.
from.
No, just a real thing. Like, what is my
Cream bars are a very real thing. Okay.
true?
I
It's
mean,
very
they're
true.
an incredibly real thing, and
Especially for the person experiencing it.
I think a black light in this fucking apartment would definitely show us.
Ultraviolet, right?
Yeah.
What's the difference between blacklight and ultraviolet? Because I know one doesn't show it, and the other one will show you everything Mike has ever done.
I think mostly black light and ultraviolet are the same,
I think they're the same.
and
yeah.
we just call it black light
I
because
really- yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
black.
yeah.
No, because like there is.
I think that's a colloquial expression for the
yeah.
same
Obviously,
thing.
I mean, the spectrum of light is fucking huge.
Yes,
you
it's
know,
pretty big.
and so like there is a division there where you have a black light, but it has to be like a certain type for it to show like bodily fluids. Like also like the kind of light that they use to show blood is different too.
I think it's just a tuned wavelength.
Yeah, that might be it.
Like there's a color called ultra indigo.
Yeah.
And if you're looking at it, looks a lot like a black light, but a little more purple. But ultra indigo is like this like exact tuned frequency of light that like all other things bounce off of, including like photons.
Oh, so like Mike's emotions.
Exactly.
Way to bring it back.
I'm not letting you out of this one.
We like to circle back on the show, make sure we cover everything.
God damn it.
So Mike, about your trauma.
Yeah, man, what's up?
When did it begin?
I don't know.
What was your relationship with your mother like?
She's a nice lady.
She's a great lady.
Oh, I'm not saying she's not a nice lady.
Yeah.
I just that's why I asked. I would like to hear about your relationship with your mother.
Maybe on another episode. Maybe I get a few more bush ices in me, and we'll talk about the Sensi experience.
Bring forth the bush ice.
Okay, Mike. So I will let you ponder this question. And AJ, hey, while I'm monologuing, would you mind looking up the ultraviolet spectrum and which black light shows what? Okay, so
sure, I'll hop on that.
Yes, sir. Anything for you, sir.
I mean, I know you were dying to get back on your phone, so I wanted to give you an opportunity. Ooh. But, all right, so Mike, say you were in the Harry Potter universe, right?
Okay.
And you had to conjure an Expectrum Patronum. Patronus. Patrona. I said it right the first time. Yes. All right, so now you had to think about your happiest moment that you have ever experienced in your life, and this is what you're using to, ward off your ex-girlfriends, the Dementors.
Right.
So what happy thought are you focusing on? What's the happiest moment in your life?
Oh, my God. Happiest moment of my life.
Meeting us.
Yep. Next up. Aw. Fuck.
When she ordered her own Uber?
I don't... It hasn't happened.
When she brought him wings for the first time?
Fuck. What a question. I was not ready for that.
You rarely are.
I barely pay attention to the show, so... happiest moment of my life. I don't know. I have a lot of things that bring me happiness when I think about them.
All right, so what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Probably... Fuck. Okay, honestly, one of the...
See, this is what the military does to you. It makes it so fucking hard to remember good things.
Okay, so before I joined the military, I
you had to go all the way back to 1873.
That's right. I used to, while I was in the DEP program, I used to babysit my sister's kid.
Yeah.
Because she wanted to go to school and have a job and all that, and like no one else is around. So I watched her at a very young age, and watching her kind of grow up in that 10 months that I was babysitting her, I was in DEP for 10 months. And I was like ready to go to the Navy, and then like when I came back from boot camp and A school and all that stuff, and I had leave for the very first time, and she was like, "Oh, Uncle Mike, you remember?" And she like remembered everything we did, and it like brought her a lot of joy. That made me really happy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's
so raising my sister's child. But yeah, that's about it, really.
Okay, so that would be the moment that you would concentrate on then.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you find, AJ?
According to a website I'm not going to give any credit to.
Thank you.
It says, because I get yelled at for that.
You don't have to say that every time.
Postlickmedia.com.
I'm going to say it every time because I didn't get to give my old man crotchety speech about either the Nextel beeps or about TikTok. So
look, either one of you are free to contribute to the blog that we've had up on the website that I'm the only one who's contributed to so far. So you're more than welcome to rant about anything you want on there.
I'm going to post my JFK article up there, and it's so well researched. I know way the hell more about JFK now than just the hookers and the blow. There's actually a really cool story about him and a coconut. I'll tell you about it later.
Yeah, that's actually a cool story. I think we should do that, like a whole episode with just like obscure military stories that we all research.
I'm straight 100% about it.
Yeah.
So strictly speaking, a black light is a kind of UV light, right? So they're kind of the same. But black lights emit ultraviolet radiation, which is UV, right? Mm-hmm. And UV is radiation with a wavelength just shorter than that of violet light. So that's why it's ultraviolet, because it's got a shorter wavelength. So really the difference here we're talking about is power.
Yeah.
And the specific type of phosphorescent coating that emits UV radiation in the UVA range.
Yeah.
So that's what shows up blood and semen and bush ice and whatever else is coating the walls of Mike's bedroom.
Ugh. It's more blood than anything.
I mean, I'd say equal parts blood and semen.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah. It's my room. Fuck it.
While everybody else in the room is furiously Googling, I'd like to go back to this point.
What do you got?
So the Nextel beeps on the old boy song.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, what is the purpose of that? When I ask a question like that, I know that Dan listens to that sort of thing, or like with the TikTok, I was like, how do I get a TikTok feed curated to not, show me a lot of boots doing like reveals that I don't care about?
Yeah.
Because that's what I see the most of, because that's what I get on Instagram. So I was like, how do I get the part that I want to see, which is like the funny stuff, right? And so I go to him and I'll be like, hey, what's the purpose I was like, what the fuck is the point of the Nextel beeps? If he'd been like, because it's supposed to evoke a sense memory of the early or late 90s, early 2000s to kind of give you this kind of nostalgia feeling, they'll go along with the song. I'd be like, all right, fair. That's got some depth.
Yeah, but what did he say?
But what he said was, why do you have to be such an old piece of shit and hate everything so fucking much?
Okay, I will say that is the one thing he's remembered correctly.
Remember everything correctly, eventually.
Yeah. Eventually. In context. Freudinger's theory with cats is also subject to the fact that if you have a box that contains an AJ that may possibly be right about something, he may or may not exist, but you won't know until you open the box, thus making it definitive.
What the fuck are you talking about?
In an alternate universe, there may be a situation where AJ remembers something correctly. I'm saying that is a definitive possibility that you can prove empirically with science.
What he's trying to talk about is Schrodinger's cat. And he's trying to apply the theory of Schrodinger's cat to me, which is that
I think I did fairly well.
You said Freudinger.
Oh, my name's AJ, just because I pronounce things better.
You said Freudinger, and then at first I was like my eye was twitching, and then you went into this thing about me, and I was like, oh, so he's doing it on purpose.
He's like a CAPTCHA. If you don't click the exact right spot, he's like, I can't work in this conditions.
Bro, you tried to correct me earlier, and then when I eyeballed you funny, you went, see, you can't handle being corrected. And then
you really can't, though.
I was right.
Oh, why'd your voice get so high?
It's the alcohol, man. The booze.
Okay.
But I was right.
So good in my headphones.
I didn't even he corrected me about something, and I was like, I just kind of raised an eyebrow. And I was like that moment when you know you're right, but someone says you're wrong, and for a second you're question your own reality, and you're like, wait, maybe I've been fucking this up all this time. This is a furious Googling.
My last relationship, yeah.
I got him.
My 30s to date.
Are we in San Diego? Because there's some gaslighting going on.
So I got to this point, I was furiously Googling, and I found my answer, and I was right. And I was like, bitch, I was right. And he was like, yeah, but you didn't have to be a dick about it.
Which, I think should be the epithet on your tombstone.
Yeah.
I was right, but maybe I shouldn't have been a dick.
You know what? I would be less of a dick about it, and I'm not going to... I'll qualify that this statement doesn't necessarily apply to the interactions I have with the people in this room.
Yeah.
But I have been dealing with people in the military and in the government for fucking 16 years. Mm-hmm. And yes, you have to be a dick about it. Otherwise, they won't learn their lesson. Right? You'll be like, no, I'm right. And here's the proof. And they'll be like, but Hillary Clinton's emails. And I'm like, we're talking about ballistics. What does that have to do with anything? People don't like being right, myself
included. Because her alibi was bulletproof.
Hey. Nobody likes being wrong. You're absolutely right.
Speaking of all that, though, I recently started watching the documentary on Jeffrey Epstein, and I sent this picture to Mike. And
bro, yeah.
True to fashion, he gave me the most minimalistic, unenthusiastic response ever. And I sent him a picture. Apparently, this motherfucker was wearing a Navy SEAL dress white uniform with ribbons and tridents.
Well, no, it's funny because I memed that months ago, and then you sent it to me this morning, which made me upset because I feel like you don't look at my memes. So I've seen that picture before.
Okay, while you're explaining this, I'm going to pull up your last 3 posts and read what I've commented on all of them.
Okay, that's fine. But
he specifically comments on your posts at 4:00 in the morning, right before he goes to bed.
Yeah.
Both because he loves you enough to support you,
right,
and because he knows you're probably already blacked out by then.
That's true.
So then he can shit on you weeks later when you're like, you never comment on my posts. And he's like, bitch, and then rolls it back.
No, I know he's on the second win by then. So
second win? Do you mean he's pulling his head out of his ass?
What?
I was going to say the toilet, and I thought that was really gross. So the last
minute, my
brain was, have you seen that thing? It's the only part of him that doesn't have hair on it.
It's true. Like a baby seal.
So he posted a video with Lucy, his dog, and I said, jealous, I should be in your lap, with 2 snorty emojis.
Yeah.
Adorable. But instead of saying, oh yeah, I posted that, and then sending me the posts, he was just like, eh.
Yeah. So again, it's upsetting that you're not obsessed with my Instagram. That you don't memorize every post I do.
Let's see here, because okay, there it is.
Yep.
Well, I like the post.
See, how about that?
See, the thing is though, is whenever I see you or AJ or a few other people come across my feed, I don't even care what it is. Instinctually, I'm just gonna like it.
See, I would do the
blind
same
support.
I would do the same thing, but here's something I've realized is that despite the fact that I have you two on group chat and I talk to you guys more than anybody else.
True.
Out of anybody.
Yeah.
Right. Because we have daily conversations, even if it's just memes back and forth or shit talking or crapping on, somebody's love of corn.
So good.
Straight up, y'all's shit never pops up in my feed. I have to go click on your individual page to see anything you post.
Interesting. So you have us both muted, is what you're saying?
I don't.
That's upsetting. That's upsetting.
Your messages pop through. I'm saying that on my regular feed, if I'm swiping, I never see anything from Pop Smoke. I never see anything from you. I don't see anything from the Smoke Pit. I just, and I go every day once a day. I'll go, well, let me see what they got posted, because I know, Dan will be like, go see that thing I just posted, and I'll go look. And it's
did the voice.
I don't know why I did the voice.
Go to the thing.
I don't know why I did the voice.
I love
it. But we'll be sitting in the office, and Dan will be like, dude, go check that thing I just posted. It's hilarious. And I'll have to go 5 sheets to the wind to get there. And I go, boop, and it shows me the thing. I'm like, that is hilarious. And then I X out of it, and I see the list of shit he's posted in the last 36 hours. The entire content of my Instagram is the last 20 minutes of his posts. And I'm like, well, where the fuck did all this go?
Yeah.
Well, I just feel like I don't know. There's probably something in your settings or something that I could take a look at. I just feel like, you handing me your phone, whenever you're like, oh, look at this. I'm like, all right, well, that's clearly a Nigerian prince scam. Let's not reply to that.
Yeah.
I don't reply to anything anymore.
No, you do. If fans request you, you'll talk to them. I know that.
I've talked to probably 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I had there was one girl who when we announced that we're coming out with the new show, right? She was like, I have a really good idea. What about the Barry Amendment? And I was like, okay, that's very well thought out. I'll talk about that.
Yeah, we're still working on that. We're in the final stages, so it'll be completely separate from the Smoke Pit. We don't get very political here besides cheeky jabs. So this will be an apolitical show where we're going to flip a coin, and whoever AJ and his guests are that week will have to argue a point either for or against, completely based off merit, no personal emotions, and they don't get to choose what side they're on.
I like
right.
it.
Yeah. So we're gonna say A is pro and B is con. Flip the coin, and you'll have to argue a point that you don't necessarily agree with.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be just politics. Occasionally we'll have a political point.
What if it was like that with anal? Your girl came in and was like, look, one of us getting in the butt tonight.
Right.
This coin will decide it.
Exactly.
Are you taking the risk?
It's it's just both. It's heads on both sides.
The emotional part of my brain says no. The part of my brain that is appreciative of fairness is a
paladin of justice.
I don't know if that's the paladin or the rogue that's going to make that decision, but
right.
No.
Okay, so if you had to count on one hand, or in AJ's case, 2 hands, how many fingers have you ever had in your butt?
Yeah, I once.
Wait, in your own?
Yes.
0.
You've never had a finger in your butt?
Really?
I've never put my own fingers in my own.
Not yours.
I asked your own, and you said yes.
Yeah, your own butt. Okay, so to clarify, how many times have you had someone else's finger in your butt? AJ?
Well, the chance is low, but it's never 0.
So just guess. Just take a guesstimation.
Well, see, I know he's reading the room right now because he's probably thinking we're going to set him up and be like, you're gay. But look.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We all know you're gay.
I'm reading the room because I'm not trying to reinforce the idea that we have a corpsman on the show. Right?
So I will
Hilarious.
say one time, back in 2006, I had a finger in my butt. Didn't care for it much. So that happened once.
And I can say I've never had a finger in my butt.
Never. Would you be willing to try?
Nope.
What would they have to do?
There's no reason you keep it that well shaved
if you're
not planning on having an entry.
It's not that. I said on another podcast me and Dan did a while ago that I shoved a toothbrush in my ass one time, but
was it the one with the vibrator in it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Hell yes.
So
good for you.
Yeah, no, it was pretty great. So no, it was actually pretty awful. But I have had a tongue in it, and I hated it.
I've never had my ass eaten.
Wait, in it or on it?
In it. Both. I mean, they're she made circles around.
Because
in. Yeah.
When you're
tongue punched your fart box.
She did, and legitimately, it was something she was begging me to try. So I tried it for her because I'm a gentleman, and all I did was giggle like a schoolgirl the whole time. I didn't enjoy it in the slightest.
So it was being tickled?
100%.
What? So was it
100%.
was it all the tickling, or was it because it was also uncomfortable for a person from the Midwest?
Well, it's weird. Yes, if it's not missionary sex, I don't believe in it. But if again, I just felt weird, like being a grown man, like on my bed, like my hands. Like,
so you were on all fours.
Wait, you were on all fours?
He was on all fours. He was doing the devil's position. So his ass is all the way
Face
up.
down,
His
ass
stomach
up.
is touching the fucking mattress.
Yeah.
Right. His head and his
presenting,
ass
yes.
are even.
Yeah.
And his stomach. So he's doing
Presenting.
this.
That's a really good way to put it.
I
Yeah.
was presenting. Yeah.
And were you holding yourself up with your hands, or were you using those to split your cheeks?
No, I was down on my forearms.
Okay,
It was
so
like
now-
she was, yeah.
She was
long
using
ago
her
was
own
this?
hands.
How long ago was this?
Yes.
This was.
That's not a fair question.
Yeah.
No, it's entirely a fair question.
It was a few months ago.
Okay. So you weren't as muscular as you were in the past.
That's right. That's true.
So your cheeks weren't quite as big that she had to like.
yeah. No. Again, she
Yeah.
was like all about it, and I was
We've
like,
all
fine.
lost so much muscle mass in quarantine.
It's very
like-
true.
Now,
And-
was she the one that made you, cleanse your back area, or was that something you did in advance?
No, I have a hairless butt. Like it needs no nothing. Like it's fine. But yeah, I I legitimately didn't enjoy it at all. It tickled and I giggled the whole time. And she was like, "Do you like that?" I'm like, "No, it just fucking tickles. This is stupid as fuck." That was it. There was a whole experience. It was
Okay,
very
was
traumatic.
she giving you the rusty trombone
No,
too?
no,
Like no
nothing.
hand J action.
Nothing.
Well, she needed both her hands in order to
Wow.
split those cheeks open.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
she was doing a little bit of surgery. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you're trying to push two boulders apart, right? That's a lot of upper body strength. Like it's not like you're shoving pillows out of the way back there. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. And I was, in her defense, I was clinching a lot. So
Yeah.
she was trying to fight,
Right. Like we
Fight the
walked
ass,
into the
yeah.
apartment today, and he was doing squats. So I know
I had Lucy on my shoulders just squatting. Yeah.
it's difficult to get in
Yeah.
there.
No,
guess.
I
I'd
genuinely,
imagine.
I did not enjoy
See,
it.
now this is what we're talking about, where you said earlier where you question your own reality. In my mind, when we came in, he was wearing nothing but a loosely draped towel around his V-cut abdominals.
Yes, both of those things are true. That's
Yes,
that's
yeah.
the thing,
Oh.
Dan. That's the part where you and I argue, which
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense to me sometimes, is that we're both right.
Yeah.
Right? We're thinking about different aspects of the same thing that happened.
See, I
He
was
was
looking at
naked.
his belly. You were looking at Lucy.
Right. Like he was butt naked except for
Yeah.
the towel. He was dripping wet and he was squatting.
He had
the
not
dog.
showered
I
yet.
had not showered yet. I was getting into the shower.
He was getting into the shower.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just his hair was mussed up because he was doing something
Yeah,
with
he
it.
never brushes it.
That's fair.
That is fair.
What is happening right now? What is this?
All right, so
Is this an episode?
yeah, I think so. Anything else you guys want to cover?
I think we all just need
I think we're good. Yeah.
I think we all need to smoke and a pee break.
I need to crack open another bush ice. And,
You're welcome.
We need to get another
so
4
gross.
bush
I'll send
ice.
you a
I hate
Venmo request.
I hate it so much.
I wonder if DoorDash will go get us another 6er of bush ice for you.
I don't think they will. No.
Okay, so make sure to tune in. Make sure to tune in next week. Next week we have a fantastic guest, Colin. Would you tell us a little bit about Colin? Maybe, I know you're not used to this, but foreplay the audience up a little bit.
Colin's just a solid dude with a solid life and solid stories. That's it.
Oh, come on. Give him a
No,
little
that's
bit
all
more
I
than
got.
that.
Again, I literally was talking to Colin about this. I don't know how to describe him because he's like a made up character. Like one day he's a superhero, the next day he's working at fucking Home Depot. Like he has a weird life.
So like if you were playing Mass Effect and they were trying to get you to do a character creation, right?
Yeah.
And you couldn't pick between you wanted like the war hero or like the sole survivor, right? Did you ever play Mass Effect? I don't know.
No,
if this
I
is
don't.
landing
No,
here.
I'm not an Xbox.
All right,
Such a
well,
good game.
Dan
It
will
is,
get me on
it
this.
is,
yeah.
So like you're trying to pick between 3 equally badass things, and you're like, I don't know, which one of those do I empathize with?
Right.
A little bit of race car driving, a little bit of skydiving, a little bit attempting to break world records, a little bit of Olympic qualifying.
Yeah.
Like,
Purchasing up all the medium shirts,
yeah.
right? Somebody has to.
Hey, look, I'm not going to hate on a guy who's got a tight shirt if he's got the muscles to fill it.
Look, I'm not saying he don't look good on it. All right, I'm just saying he's purchasing them up. So if anybody else wants to buy them, they need to tighten up too.
Yeah. All right.
Like ordering from the Smoke Pit store.
That is a very good plug.
That is a good plug.
See how I
Very
rolled
good
that
plug.
around? If you crap on me so quickly all the time, I'd get around to the good stuff.
The good stuff.
How many things
Like
do
a
you,
plug.
How things do you, well, for some people, getting around to a plug's a good thing.
There it
Mike.
is. I knew that joke was coming. Wow.
Wait, were you saying that he has hair plugs or he needs hair plugs?
Oh my god.
Or are we talking about butt plugs? Or
No,
Oh my
he's
God.
got way more than enough hair already.
It's true.
So I was talking about butt plugs.
No, but see, like his ass is hairless, and a lot of girls aren't into that because it makes it feel like they're having sex with a little boy. Or they want a little bit of.
Well, that's why you leave most of the hair and just shore like the one entry ring, I guess.
What if you removed like the hair follicles from his toes and put it on his butt?
What?
Bye.
Bye.
If you have a batshit crazy story that you want us to read on the show, shoot us an email at info@popsmokemedia.com. Also, check out our social media. You can shoot us DMs there. Stay up to date on all the latest Smoke Pit news. Also, check out our merchandise at popsmokemedia.com. Give this podcast 5 stars. We'd appreciate it. And share it with your friends.